All right, lovely ladies. Just before we start, mobilize your shoulders to stand up with a nice wide face, up and back. Full rotation through the shoulders, backward swimming, looking at your hands, and start to take some nice deep, full breaths. Hold the top of the breath for a moment, let it go completely. That's the way. And then interlacing the hands, taking the hands behind your head, pressing those elbows back, slide the shoulders down your back, press the back of the head into your hands, chin is coming in, push down and out with your feet. So you create this kind of star-like shape. And just take some deep, full breaths in. So you're spreading the ribs out to the side here. Breathing in. That's it. Like a star. Pulsing, and then hands down. And we'll take a deep breath in, take the hands up, and then down. Push the floor away. Get a little bit of movement through those legs. Sighing the breath out. Now notice how my torso is staying straight. So my bum has to do the work. Pushing the floor away with the heels. One more. Loosen up the diaphragm around here, the thoracic area, feet a bit wider, hands spread. Keep this a little bit slower if you have got wrist weights on. So we don't want to pull anything. This helps us to get that breathing to spread right into the bottom parts of our lungs. Bending the knees and then straightening the knees. We'll take it into that discus throwing movement just to stretch the whole body. So stretch, lengthen, pause at the top of the inhalation, down, pause at the top of the inhalation, down on the exhalation, whole body stretch. Beautiful, coming back and pelvis mobilizing, hands on hips. Let's take the arms up in the air like we just don't care, shoulders down, thumbs up, little fingers down. There we go, one direction, other direction. Lovely. Ooh. And then I'm going to get you to do a little bit of cross pathing. You're going to take one hand across to the other knee and then pick the knee up with the hand and then down and pick the knee up with the hand and down. So, like so, like so. Now see if you can breathe out as you do the pickup. Breathing out. Breathing out. Keep your feet relatively wide so you don't fall over. And breathing out. Neural pathways starting to zap. Waking up the two hemispheres of the brain. Pulling up the knee with the hands. If you've got a string. Breathing out. And breathing out. Do this backwards, so other way. So hands up to start off with. Tap your heel, tap your heel, tap your heel. You land on your heel, spring up, and you tap. Waking up the brain. Good. Maybe doing this with a spring. Once you get the pattern of it. Raining, I don't know if you can hear the rain. Tropical outside. That's the way. And down. Roll those shoulders back for some squats. So hands out in front of you, shoulders right into the back of the sockets. So if they slightly go forward normally, lift them, roll them, slide them, leave them back, like so. Feet are parallel, toes straight forward. Dropping down into your chair pose. Look down. Make sure knees are sitting on top of the heels here. Draw yourself down into your starting position. Breathing out to push the floor away, sliding the hands up. Down again. Check your knees. Breathing out to come up and down. As you come up, face the ribcage towards in. You can feel your back muscles working, Your deep core muscles working. As we're breathing out, we're also getting activation through the pelvic floor muscles. We want to feel this in our bum, not in the knees and not in the shins. So if you are feeling it in the knees and shins, see if you can take your weight into your heels a bit more. Slow for the last two. Slow. And down. And slow. And relax your pelvic floor. So coming into crocodile crunch. Land in your left leg. Wrap those thigh muscles into the left leg. Take your right toes out behind you. Arms out to start off with. Take a few taps here. Waking up gluteus medius. Imagine the crown of your head is lifting up towards the ceiling with a string. Left heel plowing down into the ground. Beautiful. And then opening up those crocodile jaws on your breath out. Lifting the knees, snapping hands together, toes down, arms up. That's it. Maybe taking foot behind you for that extra little bit of balance challenge. You just focus on crown of the head lifting and heel plugged and your breathing, and see if you can get your limbs just kind of working independently of the anchoring kind of rod-like structure down through the center. Significantly harder with these weights around the ankles and wrists. And hold the knee up if you can, nice and straight, core switched on, arms out, and stick your foot out, and smile, thumbs up. That's it. And then drop and give me the elbows twist. We just want to release the standing leg, hip, and the rotation muscles around the hip. We're adducting, going inwards, inwards, inwards. And Helen, this is great just for that thoracic mobility as well. Let's do that on the other side. Ooh, getting that heart rate up. Little taps, making sure the standing leg knee is a little bit bent. Plugging down through the heel. That's it. Arms up, starting position, and breathing out to snap. Lengthen then, toe on the ground, or as you get your balance, start to take the toe behind you. And you want to have the drishti, your eye gaze, on a point that's not moving, so preferably not me. And softening the muscles around your eyes. So you're really consciously softening your facial muscles and focusing on your breath. Breathing out. Core zipping up. So torso is straight. And you're going to zip with each breath. Let's hold this next one up. Fully, look at my buns today. Arms out, thumbs up for a smile. Kick it. Ooh. Make a bit of noise. Drop it. Rinse it. There we go. Well done, us. Let's come down onto the ground. So malasana to open up the anus. Stick your behind you. Either forearms or elbows, just gently pressing those knees wider. If you find you go really into your toes, sliding a folded blanket under the heels is helpful. Shoulders down, heart center lifted. Now consciously relax between the sitting bones. So around the anus, you're consciously relaxing. You're consciously relaxing your jaw. Give it a wriggle. Give it a yawn. And then look as gormless as possible. Relaxed jaw, relaxed shoulders, relaxed bum area, bottom bits. Fabulous. Hands down, coming onto your forearms, shoulders right away from ears. Draw the base of the rib cage in. Press the back up towards the ceiling. Take your right foot up so that it's flat, heel towards the ceiling. And we're just pulsing here, switching on gluteus maximus. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. So the front of your hip bones are parallel to the ground. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Base of the rib cage is in. So keep this zipped up. That's it. Now come up onto the right hand, foot in towards bottom. Big circles to the side here. Going forward. Forward with your knee. Forward with your knee. Keep the knee up. Kick the foot out to the side, little toe up towards the ceiling, little pulses here. Smile. Woo, 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 woo. Pulse, 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 and then drop it. Feet are going forward, bum is going back, fingertips are going forward, wrists are off the ground. Stretching your inner thigh. Releasing around the glute. Releasing into that pelvic floor area. You can add a little bit of a twist for this thoracic mobility. Take this right arm, tuck it underneath, turn your head, gently place the side of your head on the ground. Get a bit of a stretch through the back of that right shoulder. So we're pausing, relaxed breath, stretching. Very good. Unwind the pretzel. We'll do that on the other side. I'm just going to turn around so you can see me on the side. So forearms on the ground, shoulders away from ears. Set your back, set your core. Left foot up towards the ceiling. Little pulses. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Isometric pulsing, isolated switching on of glutes. We want these guys to be nice and strong. We want not tight bums, but functional, strong gluteal muscles. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Foot to bum, hand on the mat to support. Big circles forward. So you're mobilizing that hip joint, mobilizing those rotating muscles around that hip joint. And then we're going to do the nasty one. Are you ready? Knee up, kick the foot out, little toe up towards the ceiling. If you smile and raise your eyebrows, it makes it marginally better. Stop cursing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's enough. Little toe down. Heel the little toe down towards the ground. Stick your bum back until you feel that nice inner thigh stretch. Fingertips out, shoulders roll away from your ears. And then we can add that thoracic twist as well by taking the left hand, threading it underneath the right arm, side of the head, resting. A little bit of pressure down with that left shoulder into the ground. Keep sending your bum back. So you are resting in this pretzel shape. Fabulous. Unwinding yourself. Take your knees wide. Drop your pelvis back for a moment. Pausing here. So take a little moment. We're going to do that one where we come forward with the breath out in order to zip up through deep core muscles. So hands nice and wide, shoulders away from your ears. Take your starting position, bring your knees in a little bit closer, tuck your toes, belly soft here. Breathe in. As you breathe out through pursed lips like you're blowing out a candle, draw the shoulders forward just over your wrists, zipping up through lower belly, right up towards your ribs. Pause here. Inhale back to set. Exhale, switching on. Inhale, belly relaxed. Breathing out, action breath to come forward. So if this one is challenge enough, just pausing with that weight through the wrists, stay here. If you need extra challenge, elbows right in, skimming your ribs as you drop down a little bit, breathe out again as you come up. So inhale, set. Breathe out, pause. Breathe in, dip. Breathe out. Tummy muscles switching on again. In, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Doesn't matter how far you come down, but it does matter where your elbows are placed. We don't want them winging out to the sides. We're working on the triceps, the biceps. If we have our winging arms out to the side, it just goes into the neck. Can you see how much tension that puts in my neck? So elbows in, shoulders away from ears. And one more. Beautiful. Arms out again, shoulders away from ears. Give yourself a stretch. Sigh the breath out. And then coming onto into our tabletop position, knees together, tops of the feet are flat. So not like this, not like this. Nice and straight. Put your imaginary champagne tray on your back. Chin is in, looking straight at the ground. So we're going to walk through pointed dog. First of all, take your left foot out behind you, press out through the heel, squeeze your left glute, and then take the right hand up, thumb up, little finger down. Now this feels wobbly, you just do the leg, and you keep your weight slightly forward. If you're happy here, we're going to challenge by coming down and doing the other side. Keep the champagne nice and steady, and then down. And then the first side, so you're walking your pointed dog, squeezing each glute as you come up. Base of the rib cage drawing in, pressing the floor away with the heels of your hands. Keep your toes facing down. Keep breathing, focusing on those puffy breaths out in order to keep your core muscles switched on. And 3, and 2, and 1. Fabulous. Throw yourself down onto your tummy. One hand stacking on top of the other. Toes in, heels out. Rock your hips from side to side. Relax your shoulders. Let your pelvis be nice and relaxed here. With toes in and heels out, we're just going to do 5 quick flicks of pelvic floor. So it feels like you're stopping yourself weeing, zipping upwards, tummy comes off the ground, relax down. Squeeze your urethra shut, zip it up, relax it down. Squeeze and lift, relax down. Squeeze and lift, relax down. Don't let your bum get involved. Squeeze and lift, relax down. Shoulders rolling into the back of the sockets, sliding down to the bottom of the sockets. Little fingers up, thumbs down. Start to breathe in to lift your chest up, drop it down. Lift your chest up, drop it down. Breathe in to lift and down. Upper back muscles getting active. So these are the guys that are going to help hold your shoulders in place and down. Now, chin is tucked in. Lift your left leg, right leg. Squeezing the glutes in order to lift. A little bit of kicking here. You can put your hand on your bottom. Make sure the gluteals are doing the work rather than the hip flexors at the front. Squeeze, squeeze. See if both bum muscles are activating evenly. All right. Shalabhasana, here we go. Both bum muscles squeezing, lifting, rocket fingers and toes back. Crown of the head is forward. Keep the back line of the body squeezing, activating, strengthening. Keep breathing, keep smiling, keep rocketing, and then drop and turn your head to one side and rock the pelvis and go. Fabulous. One more of those. I'm going to turn the head to the other side. So lift the shoulders, roll the shoulders, step the shoulders down, 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 tummy button off the ground. Squeeze and lift. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Rocket, rocket, rocket. Round the head, rocketing forward. Toes and fingers rocketing back. Breathe in and then go. Ah, breathe it out, rock it out. Ah, very good. Sliding yourself onto your back. Ah, knees are bent, feet are directly underneath your knees. Switching on deep core muscles via your pelvic floor. So you're breathing out, you're closing pelvic floor muscles, you're zipping up through the cervix, through to tummy button, up towards your ribs, drawing the base of the rib cage slightly in, breathing in to release. Breathing out to switch on, zipping up tight high-waisted jeans, breathing out. Now, if you feel you have that coordination of drawing in through pelvic floor, zipping up through the vagina, through the cervix, up here and then add the recti muscles by having your head come up at the end. So it should feel like there's a chain going up and then down, up and then down. If you don't feel the pelvic floor lifting first, don't have the head at the end. All right, so staying with what feels actionable and accessible, that's the word I was looking for you at the moment. So it should feel like the bottom starts, you're lifting up, and then the chain brings the head up at the end. Remember, I always talk about that pelvic head connection. Beautiful. Okay, feet nice and wide. Internally, the same thing's happening. We're not lifting the head though. Feet nice and wide. We're pushing the floor away. We're coming up. We're squeezing our knees together. We're releasing. We're rolling back down again. We're drawing up. We're squeezing, releasing, rolling back down. Now, if you have got tension around the back of your pelvic floor, if you know you've got tension, I don't want you doing this one. You can do one or two. I want you doing this instead. Feet directly underneath knees. Knees are parallel. You're just pushing the floor away with your heels and then rolling back down again. Pushing the floor away, rolling back down. As you roll back down, you release around your anus. You consciously relax. Then you get glutes working. Consciously relax. So when you start to repattern, so bum does the work, not the back of your pelvic floor so much. All right. Otherwise, you've got your feet wide, up, you're squeezing as well. So this is more if laxity is your problem. This is a really good, quick way of strengthening and stabilizing the whole pelvic area. Breathing out, squeeze. Breathing out to squeeze. Breathing in. Alrighty, everybody lift your knees. Big circles here, releasing circles, mobilizing again those rotator muscles. So important. One direction. Other direction. Take your feet up. Mobilize your feet for a second. Press the back of the pelvis down into your mat. Rub the back of your legs. Turn your toes out, heels together, rub the outside of your legs. Legs wide. Oh, I'm going to move away from the wall here. Legs wide. Rub the inside of your legs. And then either with legs straight or bent knees, we're going to add another core switching on exercise. So you breathe out. As you breathe out, pelvic floor and deep core muscles lift. You can help your knees as much as you need to with your hands. And then breathe in to release. So this is really strong. Working on core. Like that. If it feels too much on lower back, you bend the knees. 3, 2, and 1. Leave the legs nice and open. Pull your toes back. Rub the inner legs again. And then turn it into baby pose. Knees are bent. You're grabbing hold of your thighs. Sorry, not your thighs, your calves or your ankles. Maybe the inner feet. Just make sure your chin isn't doing that. You might need to put a blanket under your head. We want to try and melt our back muscles into the ground. Super nice to add a rock, just massaging across the spine. This is like a little massage into all the nerves. of the body which attach into our spine. So you are now consciously going into the release breath. You're going, ah, loose jaw, loose pelvic floor. It's amazing how we can switch between our nervous systems simply by changing the action of the breath and changing our intention. So now we are intentionally softening the face, relaxing shoulders, loosening the jaw. Wonderful. Right ankle on top of left knee. Draw it in. Stretch out those glutes. Ah. On the other side. Ah. Very good. Give yourself just literally a few seconds here. Knees out, feet together, one hand on heart, one hand on lower belly, shoulders relaxed, close the eyes. Make your eyeballs really heavy in the sockets. Notice how that softens the muscles between your eyebrows. Soften the muscles around the whole of your eye sockets. Soften your cheeks. Let your lower jaw drop away from your upper jaw. Create a conscious heaviness in your tongue. And then just take your awareness down through shoulders, torso, into the pelvis, and take a moment to very consciously relax your pelvic floor muscles. Relax those inner thigh muscles down towards the knees. Take a deep breath in. Hold the top of the breath, sigh it out. Deep breath in. Hold the top of the breath and then let it go with a sigh. One more. Just gather those knees together. Bring your knees into your chest. Take yourself into a little ball. Rock and roll up your spine. Good. Roll the upper body. Roll it. And then stack. Lift and slide and drop the shoulders. There you go. Stacking your posture, relaxing those key muscles, setting yourself up for the day. Thank you so much for joining me. Take the hands out to the side, turn the palms, take a deep breath in. Lift your eyebrows and then go. Woo! Excellent. Have a fabulous day, ladies. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.